think that that is entry level, crazy. It is so bright. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're in a 2019 McLaren 570S Spider. Today we're going to take it out for a drive and see what makes the 570S Spider potentially the supercar for you. With all the competition nowadays in the supercar world, where does the 570S sort of sit? You know, is it entry level? Is it not really? It's sort of mid-level. It's sort of, it definitely punches above its weight, 100%. So we're gonna take it out for a drive today and see what makes this supercar, honestly, great value performance-wise. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. If you'd like to see all my future supercar content, including plenty of car reviews to come. 3.8 liter twin turbo V8, 562 brake horsepower. That's what they claim. I mean, we all sort of know it's more like 620, 630, because they tend to underrate these cars for whatever reason. That's why McLaren's always feel faster than what they claim. So 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds.
That's not entry level speed.
To think that that is entry level.
It's not entry level speed.
It's crazy. I mean, it is entry level. It literally is. So in terms of McLaren's lineup, it simply is entry level. And this would spank a 458, even still. Paddle shifters are super nice to the touch. These ones being the carbon fiber paddles. There's a couple other cars in the competition that kind of have like plastic feeling, literal plastic paddles. Top speed is 204 miles an hour. 0 to 100 miles an hour in 6.3 seconds. Ride quality is pretty good. Like I said, we're in just traditional, your sport setting. If you do put it into, say, normal, put the handling into normal, soften everything up a little bit, still doesn't have that cloud-like ride that a 720 has, or even like the 12C, 650S. 570 has a more conventional suspension setup. Doesn't have that super high-tech hydraulic setup. But even still, it rides better than, I'd say, most of the competition, if not all of the competition. You have two separate drive settings you can choose from, your handling and your performance settings, which is nice that you can control those separately, because a lot of cars you kind of have to just be stuck with one setting. So this, you can have the comfier ride, but a more aggressive transmission setting. One of the biggest takeaways, and I guess one of the advantages, depending on who you ask, of this suspension setup is that you feel a little bit more connected to the road. McLaren's have some of the nicest steering, but this being hydraulic power steering, while everyone else is electric power steering, it just gives it a bit more of an advantage in terms of road feel, the vibrations through the wheel, compared to like a 488, for example, or Ferraris have very, very lightweight, twitchy steering. This has a little bit slower steering with just better feel overall, I would say. Placing this car is incredibly easy. The view out is incredible. Feels very light. This being a convertible, it's going to weigh a little bit more than a coupe, but not by much. I mean, it's still about 3,300 pounds. But because of that carbon fiber tub, or monocoque, whatever you want to call it, it's just as stiff as the coupe. This means it has the same performance. Yeah, there you have it, your entry-level supercar from McLaren. In these super serious cars, like the 720, for example, there's a slight disconnect from the road, and it feels more like a traditional sports car, which is exactly what McLaren was going for. This is their sports series model, entry-level McLaren, which I still find just absolutely insane to call. Only has 285 rear section tires, relatively narrow tires compared to the traditional, say, 305s and most of the competition. Kind of makes it a little bit more playful in the corners.
How does it compare to the 12C? So about the same, a little faster?
12C feels a little bit faster. It's less linear. And of course, like I said, the ride quality is a little bit different in the 12C. It feels more put together than a 12C. Like 12C is a little more of a raw experience. This being a newer car, it is more refined. Yeah. It just simply is. Transmission's quicker. The interior quality's been improved. The turbos on this car are sort of dialed down a little bit. The turbo lag is definitely not as noticeable in this car. It's a bit more of a linear acceleration. I mean, there's still some lag, like, you know, like you put your foot down, there's still some kind of wait for the turbos to spool up. You can feel the slight delay, but it's more immediate than in like a 720 or a 650S where you can really feel it kicking in. This car is pretty, you know, once you get past 4,000 RPM, I mean, it just comes alive. That's the difference with McLarens. Yeah, it's got the same 0 to 60 as all the competition, even slightly slower than some, but it's after 60 is when McLarens just take off. It does have carbon ceramic brakes, pedal feel is fantastic. McLarens have always done a great job with the brake feel. Now, the only department this is sort of lacking in, and it's all subjective, but it's sort of the noise. I mean, it does rev to 8,000 RPM,
yeah,
which
it's
is
only
nice.
a high revving twin turbo V8. Those are lame.
There's a slight pop on upshifts and downshifts, which I do appreciate. You don't really hear the exhaust as well consistently because of the wind noise. Yeah, you can feel a little bit of it doesn't have quite as much grip as a 650S or a 720. You can reach this car's limits potentially a little bit easier on the streets. Let's put the performance real quick into track mode. Oh, yeah. Bit more of a kick. I prefer that. And I do like that this transmission kind of lets you know that you are shifting. Even in your normal setting, it kind of has a bit of a punch to it. So with the carbon fiber tub in this car, the 570, they're lowered at about 3 inches, which makes it easier to get in and out of. Because 650S, you kind of had to feel like you were trying to hop over the Great Wall of China to get in. Okay, 4th gear pull from 3,000 RPM. Foot is planted down. Building. Yeah. And of course, being a McLaren, it does have the dihedral doors, which, I mean, that's a huge plus.
It is a big
You know, because to get that in a Ferrari, you're spending over $1 million. To get it in a Lambo, you have to get the Aventador. Put the back window down.
Those turbos are way louder now.
Yeah. Now, in terms of reliability, that's just something that tends to scare some people off from McLarens. Jesus Christ.
Where are we?
It's not really mechanical things that go wrong. I mean, it's more like electrical things that go wrong. Like some stupid light will come on, like an airbag light, you have to go clear it. It has to be done at a McLaren dealer. They can be kind of temperamental with certain things. It's weird though, because a lot of them have no issues at all. I got friends who have, like, even the earliest McLaren, 12C, no issues at all, normal maintenance. And you have the complete opposite where it's just an absolute nightmare. But I mean, when they're working, they work. Yeah.
Whoa!
What was that? What was that?
Was what?
That fucking exhaust. It sounded like a fucking fly. Also, with the new McLaren Artura coming out basically this year, how does this sort of, you know, what is the sort of legacy of the 570? I mean, there's no more V8, gone down to a V6. Similar cars in the lineup, you could get higher mileage 458 coupe, you get a higher mileage Huracan, like a 2015, 2016, neither of which will be as fast as this car. I feel like this is a better driver's car than like a Huracan. McLaren doesn't have like that mainstream appeal that Ferrari and Lambo do, but I kind of like that about McLaren. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.